My name is Maxim, and I'm from Sentimoto. And at Sentimoto, we create mobile and wearable apps for healthy aging. So we try to change how families care for their older relatives. And essentially, what we try to do is to fix all this system, which is currently quite broken, because health and social care were designed at the times when people couldn't imagine that we will live beyond 70. And the technology that we create obviously is based on mobile and wearable applications. It should help to fix this problem. But first of all, I would like to try to set the scene. And the main assumption that we have is that we people are social creatures. It's important to communicate. It's important to get together, to talk to each other. And well, since you are here, you can understand what I'm right. And there is something more than just a chit-chat in our communication. It's all about behaviors. It's all about capturing the information about your well-being or your emotions from just seeing each other. For example, if a person is depressed, you can understand it without talking to this person. You can just take a look and you will see most of the time. So during my research at the Oxford University, I was looking at mental health. And I was looking at bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder is characterized by episodes of mania and depression, with often months of time of normal life between. And during the episodes of mania or depression, it's quite difficult for patients to deal with it, because during depression there's a high risk of suicide and you don't go out and you feel terrible. During mania, you feel wonderful, but there is a huge risk of excessive spending, gambling, and our quite unreasonable behavior. And for clinicians, it's quite difficult to deal with this situation, because how the care in psychiatry is currently created. A patient, probably medicated all the time with lithium, for example, will have meetings with psychiatrists every once in a while, probably monthly. And for a patient who will have episodes of mania and depression maybe up to 4 times a year, it may be not enough to spot these early signs of a mood episode starting. Family could greatly help in this situation, but family is not always around. So it is obvious case for some kind of monitoring of emotions, so that you could spot the depression or mania, and you could start medication or any other kind of help early on to help to deal with the episode in a more effective way, or maybe even prevent it. So we've created a platform that collects data from mobile phone about activity, about light, all the data from sensors. And when we analyzed all this data with the purpose to understand if we can actually understand when something goes wrong with a person, if he goes in mania or in depression, just from the activity. And surprisingly or not, it worked. We could distinguish just from the activity patterns of a person, mania from depression and normality with more than 80% of accuracy. And we could evaluate the mood scoring. You usually in psychiatry, you have all these scores, which is questionnaire with lots of questions, and when you create a score for example, mania, using Altman self-rated mania scale, or using QIDS, quick inventory for depressive symptoms. And we could regress to 3 points accuracy the behavior. We could estimate up to 3 points accuracy the score of a patient on these scales using just the data from wearables. So what does it mean? It means that you can all the time understand if people are in depression, in mania, or just going there. And you can start medication early on. So if you can address the problem of mood using wearable technology, surely there will be other important problems that you can approach as well. And that's how the Sentimoto was created. 3 PhD students from Oxford, we came together and we started thinking what kind of big problem we can solve. And since all of us were from different countries, I'm Russian, the other co-founder is from Italy, the third co-founder is from Germany, we had at least one thing in common. We all had family. It was far, far away. And caring for your relatives at a distance is even more difficult when maintaining a relationship at a distance. So we've created Sentimoto. We've decided to create technology that would help families take a better care after their older relatives. And this problem is familiar to many, many people. Every one of us at some stage of life will become a carer, and later on, well, people hopefully will care after us. And only in US, there are 117 million Americans who will need assistance. We will be by 2020. And 45 million people who are unpaid carers. Most of them have to provide care to someone outside of this household. And you can imagine how much responsibilities it is. And what kind of support the society or technology is ready to provide? Usually just about this ugly pendant, like big alarm button that most of the older people really, really hate, because it means that you're frail. Even worse, this little alarm button, it works just in the house, because the technology it is based upon is connected to a landline, and you cannot go out of the house without losing this alert capability. But if you look at the needs of older people, it's not so much different from us. It's about social, it's about physical, it's about psychological well-being. And this is based on the research of Joseph Rowntree Foundation. So what we've created is an application that should help families to focus on the needs of the older people and help them to improve their well-being. This is an app, wearable and mobile application that helps you to create a circle of care around you and share your well-being information. Well, based on the quantified self approach, share your well-being information to your family, to your carers. And then, if they spot that something wrong may be happening, they can always call, or you can invite you for a walk, or maybe they can ask for professional help. Well, we've been doing this for 2 years already. And we had a series of meetings with investors, with researchers, with our collaborators. And there are a few issues that usually raised. One of these issues is that older people do not have smartphones. Well, it may be true in part for the very, very, very old people. But nowadays, more and more of them are using smartphones. And, well, if you are in your 60s, you definitely use smartphones. That means that in 5 years, 65 plus people will be using smartphones as well. Actually, at the moment, every 1 in 5 of over 65s is already using smartphone, and this market is growing 20% every year. The other point was that older people do not understand the Quantified itself. Well, I don't really know where it comes from, because my mom is obsessed with blood pressure monitoring devices. And probably older people invented Quantified itself by using these blood pressure cuffs even before Quantified itself became a trend. But what is really important in all this topic is to extend it beyond the family context. Because the family, well, obviously it's the first and the most important care. But it is important to share this information also to the healthcare system and to local authorities. Because, unfortunately, the normal cycle of life looks like your normal behavior, motivation to encourage your healthy behaviors, but then something may happen. It could be a fall. It could be something else, and you will go to hospital. You will undergo treatment. Probably you will have a help, well, you will have a help of physiotherapist. And then they will discharge you, and you will go into a community context, or maybe back to your home. And people will feel very uncertain at this point. And the level of activity, the level of encouragement which is needed for them to restore the normal function is actually quite difficult to estimate. And the information with context knowledge of what happened before the accident is very, very, very important in this case, especially for social care and the healthcare workers. So we aim to break this cycle when an older person goes into a hospital and this event becomes something that ruins their life when they stuck at home and become more and more disabled just because they don't exercise and don't go out. So what we aim to create is kind of a shared economy, well, not economy, but shared approach for caring, where healthcare workers, social care workers, telecare organizations, and families split responsibilities in caring for older people. Well, we've created this app for Android. You are very welcome to download. It's still in alpha stage, so we do appreciate your hopefully positive feedback. But if you will have bug reports, please do send us, hopefully in private. And at this point, you may be wondering why it would take 3 PhD scientists to create a mobile app. Well, it's all about data. We don't know so many things about aging. We don't know why age-related disorders develop. How do they develop? Is it context-specific? Is there like specific phenotypes that have less prevalence for the development of a certain disorder? And we aim to solve this problem, at least partially, by creating this data acquisition platform for all the people, for carers, and for scientists. And we are fortunate to create this amazing team to work on this big task, and supported by really amazing advisors who share the knowledge of digital health and care and aging, healthcare and aging, and also, well, business. So thank you very much.